The following is for entertainment purposes only. We are not financial advisors. We are not responsible for any losses, only the profits.
On Octonation today, we're taking a look at Fisker, Hendrik Fisker, and the relationships with Apple. We had one of our patrons reach out and said, hey, yo, man, just went a little into investigation mode about Fisker and Apple after the bright and sunny tweet I got to work thinking, why? Apple promo thing next week, blue and orange, and so is Fisker, blah, blah. I went digging for the Octonation. Take a look at the attachments and let me know what your thoughts, if I am crazy or not. Never really put info together like this before, so just let me know if you have any questions. We've got a lot to dive into, a lot of connections here. I think there's definitely some stuff to take a look at. Might be reaching on some of this, but I think SPAC could be huge, and if it were this huge, no news would be coming out until the merger. What do you think? Maybe. We're kind of in that time where it's right before, I'm sure Fisker, he's the hype guy, right? He really is. I've said it 1,000 times. I don't think he's a very good CEO. I think he's a great front man for a company, though. Just a lot of big decisions I don't think he's done very well on, okay? But we're coming at a pivotal time where merger's about getting ready to start, right? And so they start looking at things like, do we save some news and media for right before, or do we save it for right after? They want to save some of their chips for after the ticker change, because it's smart, because we've seen a lot of these things after ticker change, it just... The deal with this, though, is it's not crazy high, though. It's not like Helion, it's not like SHLL, where it's just still just flying to the moon. It hasn't really gone that high. It really hasn't. So Apple, Fisker, Volks, Mana, and versus Tesla. Lots of correlations. What's going on here? Heavy scrutiny, presence, and lot of noise around Apple's rumored car testing facility in Sunnyvale, California. Apple laid off hundreds of employees who were working on the project, and under the leadership of Bob Mansfield, Apple is said to have transitioned to building an autonomous vehicle system rather than a full car, just auto driving, which could potentially be used in the cars of various partner companies. So what does that mean? So Apple was actually, they've been talking about like building a car or iCar or whatever for a long time, right? But they came out and said, we're just going to focus on the tech of it, which might be kind of smart. Maybe down the line, but they're going to be focusing on the tech for it, which is cool. Mainly auto driving. So the stuff that you can take your hands off the steering wheel, just take a nap, and then get somewhere you want to be. We're focusing on the auto drive systems. It's a core technology that we view as very important. We sort of see it as the mother of all AI projects, artificial intelligence projects. It's probably one of the most difficult AI projects actually to work on. Apple CEO Tim Cook on Apple's plans in the car space. According to Wall Street Journal's sources, Apple had hundreds of employees working on designing a minivan-like electric vehicle under the project name Project Titan. A minivan-like vehicle. That sounds like Canoe to me. Steve Sadesky, remember the Apple stuff I've brought up with Canoe too? There's lots of correlations even with them. Steve Sadesky, Apple VP of Product Design and leading the project under Dan Riccio, and was given the go-ahead by Apple CEO Tim Cook to recruit upwards of 1,000 employees, many from within Apple. Apple executives met with contract manufacturers of high-end cars like Magna Steyr, who Apple might have worked with had the car project not shifted focus. Does that ring a bell, Magna? Y'all remember them? Apple's car team explored a wide range of technologies, including silent motorized doors, car interiors, sand steering wheels or gas pedals, augmented reality displays. Do you guys remember the, Nissan 240SX, like the 91 through 93? They actually had a hologram that would shoot up onto the windshield and it would show your tax. So it'd show your RPMs and your miles per hour, or you could switch it to just miles per hour. So you could be driving and it's like this little like red lines at the bottom. You can see how fast you're going on your windshield. An improved LiDar sensor that produces less from the top of the car and spherical wheels. But there was no clear vision for the car, and executives disagreed even on major points like whether the car should be autonomous or semi-autonomous, leading to delays and internal strife. Can you imagine all the Apple people trying to come together to come up with one car? There's probably 10 trillion ideas. The car would end up costing $500,000, I'm sure, by the time they're done. This might be a good move for them. Apple adjusted the project to focus more heavily on the underlying technology for auto driving rather than actually building the automobile. And while initial rumors suggested the company was still developing a car and was continuing to pursue partnerships, later information indicated work on an actual car has stopped from the time being. I don't know. Several rumors about the Apple car have included details suggesting Apple employees are working on the project at a top secret location in the Bay Area. Rumors and speculation suggest Apple's car campus might be located in Sunnyvale, California, just minutes from the company's main One Infinite Loop campus in Cupertino. What do you think? This is where we're thinking here in Sunnyvale. This looks familiar to anybody? 100% sure it's 140 San Gabriel Drive in Sunnyvale, California. I agree. I Googled all around it trying to find connection to see anything I would put near Fisker with this. This is the location. He even the mark on the map for us. If you want to check it out, you can look up that address. Is it like Spartans? Apple officially leases several known buildings at the Sunnyvale location, but it also said to be operating out of a shell company at the site. 68 Research. 68 Research claims to be a market research firm, but has received city permits for the construction of an automobile work area, and a repair garage. It is not known if the rumors on the project being housed in Sunnyvale are accurate, but based on the past information, development of the car or car software is indeed taking place at the secret location outside the company's main campus. Apple has been snapping up a lot of real estate in Sunnyvale area, including an industrial building that was once a Pepsi bottling plant. Several of the buildings potentially associated with Apple's car project have secret internal names referencing Greek mythology characters like Zeus, Rhea, Athena, all of which are tangibly related to the Titans in Greek mythology, perhaps hinting that the buildings are related to the Project Titan. Building plans Apple filed with the city officials suggested the company's Sunnyvale facilities, codenamed Rhea, is being used for something car-related, with references to automotive terms like lube bay, wheels balancer, tire changer, and wheel sensor. Come on, man. Of course it's what they're doing. Apple's rumored to be operating a secret vehicle research and development lab in Berlin. The facility said to employ between 15 to 20 men and women from the German automotive industry, all with backgrounds in engineering, software, hardware, and sales. The workers at the lab have all been described as progressive thinkers in the fields. Apple is late 2018 leased a large manufacturing facility in Milpitas, California. Milpitas, California. It's not clear that Apple plans to use the site for, but it could potentially be related to the car project. In December 2015, Apple registered 3 auto-related top-level domain names, including apple.car, apple.cars, and apple.auto. While the 3 domains could potentially be related to CarPlay, it's also possible Apple has saved the domains to be used in the future with an electric car or auto driving system. According to one Apple insider source familiar with the Titan, many of the Apple's new auto-related hires, including recruits from Tesla, have been working out of the Sunnyvale campus. Come on. This person claims that some of the projects underway there have been kept very secret with the company. It is said that the Titan development building itself is codenamed SG5. All this sunny stuff had me thinking. Now we're out of the article. He said, all this sunny stuff had me thinking with Hendrick's tweet today. Also in the picture below, I thought this was an eMotion or Karma outside the building, but pretty sure it's a Tesla. So he did a Google drive-by on this thing. I think that this thing looks like a Fisker for sure. Why? Because you can, if you really zoom in here, let's see if I can get it more. If you really zoom in, you can see the back lip of the Fisker has got a big, huge like wing thing. The Tesla really doesn't. This one really does stick out. Regardless, that doesn't 100% prove anything, of course, but there's definitely been Fiskers in and out of this place. There's even been, Tim Cook and stuff, they've been driving Fiskers for years. One of the buildings around this, I would call it a campus, has a design on it that immediately made me think of one of Hendrick's posts of the ocean with like an overhead shot looking down at the solar panel. And so there's also heavy security presence and a lot of noise around Apple's rumored car testing facility in Sunnyvale. It's kind of an open secret in the auto tech industries that Apple's developing electric vehicle coding Project Titan. At 3 a.m, they have deliveries. It's very dark, very, very secretive. We don't know what's going on. But almost every night, there's noise that wakes up the dogs. Wakes the dogs up, Joanne Porter said. And then, so take a look, like, here's the tweet he's talking about. So the Fisker Ocean prototype being made. This looks like some sort of backwoods facility. I mean, if you ask me, like, even the light's not like crooked and like this weird door thing, and then it's like dark behind there. It just looks weird, right? And then you've got, the other weird thing is you've got like these curtains around it. Neighbors on Bartlett Avenue near the facility said security guards tail them when they walk their dogs by it. You have security guards following you in their cars, Porter said. So that's the end of his due diligence on that. He also showed a picture. I forgot to put the picture of the top down of the car he's talking about. But it looks like there's parking like in the garage that could have been taking pictures of the Fisker. I don't know. This does look really funny to me though, where there's this bill, like what? So Apple is working on its own sensors. Apple Inc. in talks with at least 4 companies about developing a smaller, cheaper, low-profile LiDAR sensor, suggesting the California-based computer company wants to own more of the car's self-driving functionality, Reuters citing 3 unnamed sources. Simultaneously, Apple's engineers are reportedly continuing to work on developing their own LiDAR sensors. In case they can't find a third-party sensor that fits the criteria, LiDAR sensors use lasers. We know what they do. Apple has tested 62 self-driving cars across 80,000 miles in California's public roads last year. That's really funny to me, You know that they're testing the auto driving too. We'll just try them out on the public roads. Using LiDAR sensors from San Jose-based Velodyne LiDAR, by comparison, Alphabet Inc. owned Waymo Notch more than 1.2 million miles on California roads last year. Y'all know about Velodyne? Velodyne, the SPAC. Velodyne's system uses mechanical parts to sweep its lasers across the road and can cost up to $100,000 each, making it too expensive and prone to failure for consumer car, Reuters reports. They're not happy with most of what they see, one source told the news agency. They're looking for revolutionary design. Instead, Apple's LiDAR wish lists include the ability for the sensors to see several hundred yards down the road with a sleek, low-profile design, Reuters reported. Boy, doesn't that sound like ever since the iPhone dropped? Sleek, low-profile design. Very little is known publicly about Apple's self-driving car ambitions. One thing I do know about the Velodyne stuff is they basically come out and say the only way you're going to get to autonomy 5 basically of driving, where it's like totally hands off and you can just drink a coffee and do something else, even though people are doing that without that. But regardless, they're saying you have to have a physical thing sitting on top of your car. They're saying it cannot be sleek or low profile design. They've even stated that many, many times about how people keep trying to make them super small and that's what they're going to stick with, and they're saying it ain't going to happen. I'd rather have like a big old toaster sitting on my top of my car that worked way better than a little tiny one that was sleek and didn't work very well. We'll have to see though. Apple could pull it off. I don't know though. I mean, you got to get a layout of the land. I'm sure with satellites and stuff though, they could, clutch off that and make it help. Later, it was rumored Apple had killed the plans to develop its own car. It would instead license its technology to automakers. If accurate, the report from Reuters suggests Apple is interested in owning the car's so-called perception stack, the sensors, computer, and drive controls that make up a self-driving automotive system. This follows Apple's decision to hire Tesla Inc. executive Doug Fields to lead the project, which is called Project Titan internally. Fields has since hired Tesla's former vice president of engineering, Michael, and cut 190 jobs. Apple has secured a permit from the California DMV to test self-driving SUVs. Good job, California. Cook also expresses enthusiasm for electric vehicles, saying, "It's a marvelous experience not to stop at the filling station, or at the gas station. If you previously didn't believe or simply didn't want to, that's the car's future. Involves electrification, fully auto driving. It'll alter your beliefs." So, what has Fisker not released yet? He has not released the auto driving. He hasn't released like anything. He said that they will support it up to level 5. So level 3 is like, it kind of works, but you still got to pay attention. Level 5 basically is totally hands off as far as I know. Let me know if I'm wrong on that. But he's saying they will have the technology, but it won't be level 5 at launch, but they can be upgraded. He also hasn't said who's manufacturing anything. He said he's putting it together, assembly, but he hasn't said anything about who's like going to actually make the frames and all that. And then the battery, we're still waiting on the skateboard, the battery, who's making all that. So, are Fisker and Apple secretly joining forces? The Detroit Bureau reports, based on sources and a single image, that the sole Fisker e-motion electric vehicle in California turned up at Apple's Silicon Valley HQ recently. Could this be the beginning of a new partnership between the Danish designer and the entrepreneur and one of the world's most powerful, influential companies? Of course, Apple said, we're not going to tell you nothing. Here's the picture. If you look at the background, it kind of looks like that Sunnyvale place, right? Oh, that's definitely it. So dude's got the address, right? I mean, that's the address for sure. You can see the building, rafters. It all looks correct here. We've got another article here that gave us a little bit more information. It said, Fisker showed up, presumably to take on Tesla, was recently spotted at Apple's headquarters, and interestingly enough, the e-motion's appearance came about after Apple engineers indicated that they wanted to take a look at the car's underlying technology. So he's dropping off a car to him. The likelihood of a sightseeing tour is slight, and while Hendrik Fisker declined to comment, with Apple not yet responding to the request, some of these sources say the emotion was there for some very practical rather than emotional reasons. Members of the Apple development team apparently wanted a closer look at the emotion and a better understanding of its unusual driveline technology, so they asked the Fisker crew to bring one up from the company's headquarters in Southern California. So straight up, they're looking at it. They want one. They want to know about it. They don't just do that for the heck of it. Hey, we just drive it up and just drop it off. Thanks. No. Additionally, Fisker tweeted out the following yesterday evening: as anyone who has been to or even seen Apple's current headquarters, it's clear that Fisker was over at the One Infinite Loop. If they run, that means they're guilty. That's what I think. If they run, that means they're guilty. So here's a link that Fisker put up on his Twitter, right? And they deleted it. So what am I saying? If someone puts something up there, someone asks him a question, right? He puts up an answer, and soon later he deletes it and then didn't even answer the guy. That means he's guilty, if you ask me. The link is dead, but I have got your back. This is what the message that was now deleted said. Right here. It said, meeting great people in San Francisco with the Fisker e-motion. Check out the new website, fiskerinc.com. But again, you can see here's Fisker, here's the car, here's that exact location. That's what it looks like to me. This is what he posted and then deleted. Range aside, the Fisker e-motion appears to be a technical marvel. Fast charging. Of course, many of the connections with the two companies like this, new board members, Bill Drummond. So Fisker just added this dude named Bill McDermott, like a week and a half ago, September 29th of this year. They just added him on. So who is this dude? Bill is well known for hooking up and hanging out with Apple. Here's an interview. Apple CEO Tim Cook touts enterprise augmented reality as Apple SAP further integrate. Apple CEO Tim Cook joined SAP CEO Bill to talk about the latest advancement in their partners. So here's Tim Cook and the dude that Fisker just hired to get in. And they were talking about the new AI and all that stuff. That's who this guy is. And Fisker just brought him on a week and a half ago. So here's more tweets that Fisker has put out about Apple. This one is actually still up, but he said, I designed this emoji. Hopefully Apple puts it on their store for charging stations. All right. Someone also asked Apple and Fisker partnering, and this is what his reply was. So someone said, hey, are you guys going to be partnering? And this is what he responded with. This chick biting an apple. Yeah. Here's the deal. He deleted that response too. And I've also noticed, like with Fisker, when people ask him about certain partnerships or something like that, or brands correlation, he'll say no. He'll just respond no if something is no. But every time someone's asked him about Apple, he's never said no. But he has posted 2 different times about Apple and then now deleted it. So back when Apple iCare was a thing, while it appears to have struck out with the plans to attract an established car market, one plausible line of thinking is that the Apple is now looking to commission an automotive production specialist such as Magna to assembly of the iCar. Nothing is official through its interest. To note that BMW recently pulled production of the Mini Countryman out of Magna's Austrian facility, suggesting capacity has been freed from the production for a new car, possibly the iCar. Read more. So, that Magna facility where Fisker's come out and said that's who's going to assemble it. They've done stuff for a lot of big boys like Mini Cooper, right? But they were also going to do it for Apple. There's a correlation there. Now remember, Magna is the company who will be assembling Fisker Ocean. Also, just Google Earth the old Pepsi factory at 960 Kiefer Road, Sunnyvale, California. Looks to me like there is a BMW Z28 parked out front, all gangster in no parking zone. Apple renting that building or what? So this is one of these buildings that we're speculating that Apple's renting too, because it's right next to that other Sunnyvale facility. It's literally like right next door. I do find it kind of funny that there's another facility there, and there are EV charge stations all over it. There's one on the right side of it. Fisker made this Z28, by the way. That's the correlation with that. He designed it. Designed a lot of stuff like that. And then on the other side, there's EV charging stations all over it. Again, this is speculation mode for sure here, but is this common in California? I mean, like, if you look, though, I mean, you see, I think that these are electric vehicles here, too, getting ready to charge up. That's Chevy Volt, Chevy something, a BMW one. But, here's another big, huge warehouse. And I think this is the one that they were saying where they've applied for, like, the oil and the wheel alignment stuff or whatever. It looks like a big old open warehouse thing. Be a perfect spot right next to the one place they're at to work on cars. We have 2 radars in the front. Okay, so this is something that Fisker said in this video here. He said, we have 2 radars in the front. We have a short range and a long range. We got 9 cameras. We don't want to take huge risks at this time by developing our own auto driving features. We want to work together with partners for that. Partners. So I think it is important to have some big partners that are already spending billions of dollars in this area. I don't know anyone who is spending billions in the area. I don't think Velodyne has spent billions. Do you? I don't know. I don't know that much about Velodyne, but I'm sure, Velodyne's got some patents though. So it could be that like they're going to give Apple like a piece of a patent, right? Like one little thing in the Velodyne thing, Apple's going to buy that part for, and then Apple's going to make their own version of it, try to make it sexy and sleek. And then maybe Fisker will then buy that finished product from Apple. So it'll go down the line. So it'll be part Velodyne, part Apple, then to Fisker. big partners, some big and then billion-dollar companies that they've spent, and that's a lot. Has Apple spent $1 billion on that research? I guess they could have. I mean, what they said, they had 300 employees at one point. They were already getting manufacturing deals. They could have spent $1 billion on it. It's Apple. I mean, come on. It's not no big thing for them. And here's the tweet on that if you want to take a look at this. And that was said, by the way, like August, September, so a month and a half ago, a month and 2 weeks ago, he was saying that. So here's another near-term catalyst. So a Fisker logo being symbol made out of solid milled aluminum. So he's just showing this thing here, and someone asked him, will you be using Apple image sensors to help get Fisker to level 5 auto driving? And then someone said, Hendrik, you entertaining this Apple rumor is interested. And then he said, we don't comment on rumors. So remember what I was saying? Like, in the past, he has accidentally commented on people specifically asking about Apple, but then he just like removes his post. But again, remember, if you go look through all of his tweets and stuff, when someone asks about a certain brand and it's a no, he just blatant will say no. But he has never said no about anything Apple, ever, ever, ever. But he's basically admitting it right here. We don't comment on rumors. So this is not a rumor because he just commented on it. So it's not a rumor that he's saying it's true. I kind of think that's what it means. He's one of those wordplay guys, right? He's one of those wordplay guys, even gift play guys, right? So Fisker logo being a symbol, he shows this. There's a tweet, but then check out this below, right? He's got this, the Fisker color logos right here. So this is going to go in the center of this aluminum. I like this because he's just, he's showing they're going to have some quality to it. Like most logos nowadays have been plastic for 30 years or something. Everyone's been plastic. So he's at least got aluminum, and then he's going to have probably the plastic insert in there. Here's the trippy part, which I thought was funny, and I noticed this right away too. So Apple's been toting on the 13th, so that would be like Tuesday. Apple's next iPhone will be announced on October 13th. Here's the branding that Apple's been going with. You see the color correlation there? I've never seen Apple use these colors before. Like, back in the 2000s, actually before that, right? Because they're making those when they're making those transparent iMacs, like the G3s, whatever, those were always like the hyper colors, right? It was like bright turquoise, bright green, bright yellow, hyper yellow. Orange they've used, but they've never used this dark blue before. I've never seen dark blue ever used with Apple. It's always been the hypey big colors. Even the 2000 advertisements were like, they went into like some pinks and it was just always like the 80s glam, but turned up to neon, right? But here's another thing with Apple. Here's comparing. I don't know where this picture came from. Whoever made this, thank you. I don't know. I just found it on the internet. Whoever made it, give you props. Thank you. But look at this Apple event. Join us, Apple Park. And then they also said this. Then they have another one, high speed. Please join us for a special Apple event from Apple Park. Watch it online at apple.com. I just find it very odd that they're using these exact colors. Don't you? Have you ever seen Apple use this exact color scheme before? I haven't. And then, Fisker's also been tweeting this orange car. I mean, the orange Fisker, like it's like the sport or rally edition or whatever he's saying. I don't know. I could see him rolling out and being like, okay, maybe it's going to use like their auto driving technology and it's something to do with the phone. Like maybe you can start the car with the phone, or I don't know. It could be something totally rad, or just become something kind of small. Maybe the internal computer will be an iPad. Regardless, if we can pair Apple officially to Fisker, it will get the Apple people onto Fisker, buying the cars and buying the stock. He also asked, so Kramer, Jim Kramer, the stock dude on MSNBC or whatever, he, he's having conversations about SPACs, saying, I don't like them, blah, blah. But recently, him and Fisker were talking, and he was asking if he could be on. He said, yeah. And then Fisker was like, hey, can we be on the 16th? Could we be on the 16th? The 16th is going to be after this Apple thing, so maybe Apple might release some info, and then he can officially talk about it on the 16th, which I think would be Friday. That would be Friday. That'd be a good time to talk about it. Regardless, I think that there is going to be some Apple tech involved with Fisker. I mean, I think it's pretty darn apparent. This color thing, though, has got me tripping a little bit, especially how it looks and its circles. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you think? Do you think the Apple people will jump on this just because of that? I hope so. I think we definitely need to get more info and brands. Like, there's also even Volkswagen connectivity with these. Like, Apple's worked with Volkswagen and stuff on a lot of things, and Fisker, we still might get them helping with building it. We don't even know that yet. I don't know. Pretty interesting. And we had another Patreon request for me to look at the VLDR, Velodyne. So what perfect of a time to look at it than right now. He said, are we going to bounce back to the 25-ish level from here, looking at the chart? Let's take a look at it. So where we at right now, we pointed this out. We're sitting in this channel between like 1737 and 1521. We've also got this big, huge line at 1293 that we don't want to hit. He said, are we going to hit 25-ish again? Let's draw a ray across there. Something like that. Are we going to get there? I don't know. I don't think so anytime soon. Aren't they finishing their merger here pretty soon? Aren't they going to switch? Or did they already? I guess they already did, right? Graph? Okay. I guess they did. I don't know. It'd have to be, I think it's a catalyst thing. They're going to have a catalyst to get them that high again. They're sitting, the volume is down for sure. There was a lot of volume getting this thing sunk. You can see down here, but look at the volume. The volume is slanting down like this, down here. You want to see the volume picking up. You've got a slight tick at the very end of day on Friday, but it's nothing to write home about. I don't know if you're in or whatever, but I personally wouldn't be buying in this second. I might put a buy above it. You could put a buy at like 1850 or something, try to ride it up. I think it's one of those ones that'll be a good long-term play, but it's still just sketchy. I think this was actually when the ticker changed right here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure when the ticker changed, it was up to 25. That would make sense. On September 30th, yeah, and then it's about a month. It'll get it back up there eventually, but anytime soon, I don't think so without a catalyst. Eventually, though, it will start creeping back up, I'm sure, because these guys own like a big piece of the market, and they've already got tons of revenue. I think only like 10 or 15% of their revenue is even in the vehicle space. So they do a lot of like robots and like city sensors, maybe for like crosswalks or something. I don't know. Maybe, I don't even know. Cities use them. All sorts of other things, robots and things that fly use them. All right. I think NASA might be using them too. So they're kind of all over the place, and they're like the big dog. They are the elephant in the room type of play. If you're super long, you could jump in, but this still could go down a little bit. I would just watch it for catalyst and or put a buy in, like I said, above this channel. If this thing dropped to, maybe like single digits, I might just be buying it, right? Like if it dropped to like 9 or below, I don't know if it will. This held pretty darn well. It's not like this thing was ever even got back to like 10, right? I mean, people seem to really like this, and it did get all the way to 32, so it could be bottomed out. Like I've been saying too, like things have been liking to get half off. Notice that when things have been getting these parabolic spikes, they usually 2x, right? So we're about 15, 13, it 2x. That's when the big boys fully took out. What happens? Everyone just dumps. And then it goes all the way back to half off again. It consolidates, and then stuff is going to start trickling back up. I like getting stuff half off. It's a slightly decent buy, just a little sketchy at this current market. That's my feelings on it. Let's take a look at SPAC while we're here, right? I think they're going to finish merging at like the end of the month. somewhere around there. Who knows? But boy, let's see. It's kind of the same thing, right? Like what we're up to. Well, out the launch, this thing got to like 22. It dropped all the way to 11, so it got cut in half, and then it made all the way up to 18. Now it's at, made it down to 13. We could probably draw a line here. Let's see what we got. Something coming off it like this. We'll probably get we're gonna get a pendant here. Watch this. Maybe something, probably not. We'll have to move this. Computer's freezing on me here. Something like that. Yeah, so you've got a nice bolt pendant here. This could break. You know, and any catalyst, like I said, like this, if Apple does drop their name, dude, this will be jamming. This will be jamming for sure. I'd say we get another run up. We've already had two really good, really strong run ups. This did dip super low though. I mean, back in these 12s, that's not looking good, but I could see another big run up before, because if we got about a month, I'd say about 3.5 weeks before the end of the month, we might get a run. We're already sitting October 11th. My goodness, so maybe only 2-3 weeks left. So Fisker, you're watching, dude. We need a brand, man. We need Volkswagen attached, or we need Apple attached. Otherwise, this thing might just keep fizzling down. But this does look slightly bullish. Again, the volume does kind of look down. Maybe it's going up a little bit, but nothing to get too excited for. Just watch this channel. You know, watch like the 15 bucks. Watch the 15. Watch it break this pendant. I'm sure it pretty much did-ish, but you know, wait till it gets above 15. I'd say if you're going to be trying to get in for a run up, is where I'd say. Any other plays you guys want me to take a look at? Anything I'm totally missing, please let me know. If you haven't subscribed to our Patreon, please do it. It definitely helps out. I'm also sliding you guys some deals before I even make the video, so your entries were hours before everyone else's, and I'm sure you can get your money back on that in one little smidget of a play. If you haven't subscribed, please do it. If you wouldn't mind sharing this video with your friends on your websites you're on, greatly appreciate you. All have a good rest of the day. Take care.
Did you know that we give away free silver? Simply leave a comment on the video, and as long as you're in the continental United States, you can be automatically entered to win. Please friend us on Twitter and StockTwits.